You know, some topics, they just scream deep dive, and the Anunnaki, they're definitely one of them.
Ancient mysteries, possibly aliens. I mean, where do you even begin?
Right. And judging by this incredible collection of articles, excerpts, all the stuff you sent us, I think you're just as hooked on this as we are.
Oh, absolutely. What I find so fascinating about the Anunnaki is how they've gone from like these ancient kind of fragmented myths,
Yeah.
to popping up everywhere in modern culture.
Yeah.
It's like we're trying to draw these lines between, real archaeological discoveries and well, let's just say more creative interpretations.
Exactly. We're talking about a story that starts literally thousands of years ago, right? With clay tablets buried in the ruins of a civilization that most people have never even heard of.
Yeah, and it's incredible, right? Like these tablets, when they're rediscovered in the 19th century, it reignited this whole fascination with the Anunnaki, and it's still going on today.
It's like we're opening this window into a world that we thought was lost forever, you know? And to think this all started with like a real life Indiana Jones moment. The Library of Ashurbanipal, discovered back in 1872.
Oh
Can
wow,
you imagine unearthing a king's collection of thousands of clay tablets, each one covered in cuneiform, the writing of the ancient Sumerians?
that's
That's
incredible. And
amazing.
it wasn't just any library, right? This was like a treasure trove. I mean, you had the oldest known versions of the Epic of Gilgamesh in there, one of the very first works of literature. And it was in those fragile clay tablets. I mean, that's where the Anunnaki, they first kind of step out from the shadows.
Exactly. And then you have George Smith, this scholar, who basically dedicated his life to deciphering these texts. Did you
Oh,
imagine the dedication to learn a language that had been completely lost, and then you're painstakingly piecing together these fragments of clay, like a jigsaw puzzle, but with no picture to guide you?
yeah.
I can't even imagine.
And what Smith found, it really did like send shockwaves through, the academic world at the time,
Yeah.
because he found this flood narrative in the Epic of Gilgamesh. Sounds familiar, right? But here's the thing: this version inscribed on these tablets, it predates the versions of the flood story that we knew about by centuries.
Okay, so we've got ancient tablets, a lost library, a flood myth that seems to predate the Bible. I mean, talk about a story. But let's get back to these Anunnaki. Who were they to the Sumerians?
So the Sumerian texts, they describe the Anunnaki as the offspring of Anu, the sky god, and Ki, the earth goddess. They were these incredibly powerful deities, really important in those Sumerian creation myths. They ruled over different parts of the natural world, and they even had a hand in human affairs, according to the myths.
Okay, so they're powerful, maybe a little, I don't know, volatile. Definitely a big part of how the Sumerians saw the world. But we're not talking about aliens here, right?
Not in the original Sumerian texts, no. They're divine beings, woven into this complex tapestry of mythology. Like many ancient myths, their stories probably try to explain things,
Mm.
natural phenomena or how society was structured, or even just like the big questions of what it means to be human.
Right, right. So we've got these ancient Sumerian myths, these incredible stories, but then things get really interesting when we get to the 20th century, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's like you have this kind of perfect storm brewing, right? Like humanity's, pushing the boundaries of space exploration for the first time.
Right.
And at the same time, there's this resurgence of like fascination with ancient mysteries, the unexplained.
Absolutely. And that's where, I mean, this is where Zecharia Sitchin enters the picture. His book, The 12th Planet, which came out in the 70s. And
Mhm.
it offered a completely different take on the Anunnaki.
Right.
One that really tapped into that kind of growing fascination with aliens, with the possibility of life beyond Earth.
And Sitchin didn't hold back.
Yeah.
He dove headfirst into these Sumerian cuneiform texts, and what he came up with, well, it was pretty radical. He said the Anunnaki, they weren't just gods; they were, get this, they were advanced beings
Okay.
from another planet.
From another planet.
Yeah, a planet called Nibiru.
Nibiru. Just saying the name, it's like it sends chills down your spine, you know. But okay, so what was Sitchin's take on this planet, this Nibiru, and the beings that supposedly live there?
Well, he described Nibiru as like this rogue planet,
Right.
right? So it's got this long elliptical orbit around our sun.
Okay, okay.
and and he said the Anunnaki, they were facing some kind of like ecological disaster back on their home planet,
Yeah.
and that's why they came to Earth.
They were looking for a solution, basically.
Exactly. thousands of years ago. That's what Sitchin argued.
And that solution, if I'm remembering this right, involved gold, right? And not just like for decoration. It wasn't just about, making their spaceships look fancy.
No, 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 not at all. Sitchin, he had this theory that the Anunnaki, they needed gold for like its scientific properties. He thought they were using it to try and repair their atmosphere.
Oh, wow. So we're talking about like planetary scale geoengineering. That's insane. But okay, even if they could pull that off, if these Anunnaki were so advanced, why would they need humans to do the actual mining for them?
Well, that's where Sitchin's narrative, it takes another, well, let's just say interesting turn.
Okay.
He said the Anunnaki, they realized that mining all this gold, it was too much work. So they decided to genetically engineer early hominids.
Okay.
Basically, to create humans, and humans would be their workforce.
So basically not the most uplifting origin story for humanity, just to be, someone else's mining crew.
Right.
But I've got to admit, whether you buy into it or not, it's a story you just can't ignore.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's got it all. Ancient texts, these bold claims, and of course, aliens. It really captured people's imaginations, and it took off like wildfire.
It did. It really did. But, okay, what about the experts, the archaeologists, the scholars who've dedicated their lives to actually studying this stuff? What did they make of Sitchin's theories?
Okay, so we've got these ancient Sumerian myths. Then we've got Sitchin coming in with this like whole sci-fi spin on it. But it doesn't end there, does it?
Not even close. Fast forward to like the 21st century, right?
Yeah.
Astronomers, they start noticing some really weird stuff happening way out there, like on the edges of our solar system.
Oh, this is good. This is good.
They're looking at these objects in the Kuiper Belt, which is, that area past Neptune.
Right, right.
And the way these objects are moving, their orbits, it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
It's like something big, something we can't see is like tugging on them. It's like those little tremors that make you wonder if there's like a massive earthquake about to hit.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And in this case, we're talking about a potential planet, a big one. This is where the whole Planet 9 idea comes in.
Planet 9. Okay, I see where this is going.
Yeah, astronomers start thinking maybe, just maybe, there's this huge planet hiding out there way beyond Pluto. And we're not talking about like a little Pluto-sized thing either. We're talking something potentially 10 times the mass of Earth.
Wow.
A total heavyweight.
So naturally, because this is the internet age we're talking about, the second word gets out about a possible ninth planet, well, it's like throwing gasoline on the Anunnaki fire.
Right. Of course, yeah. It was like the perfect fuel. A hidden planet, come on. That's like straight out of Sitchin's playbook. People started connecting the dots, saying Planet 9, that's Nibiru, the Anunnaki are coming back.
Right.
Some people thought it'd be like the dawn of a new age, others, total apocalypse. It was all over the place.
Okay, so we've gone from these ancient tablets to rogue planets to like a maybe planet hiding in the darkness.
Yes,
I
sir.
gotta ask, where does this leave us? Should we be like stocking up on supplies, building bunkers, maybe learning how to read Sumerian just in case?
Well, I'd say hold off on building that bunker for now. Look, the idea of a hidden planet, it's cool, it's exciting, but we got to separate what we actually know from the speculation.
Right.
So Planet 9. We haven't actually seen it yet, but those weird orbits, those anomalies, they're definitely pointing to something big out there. That's the science.
Okay.
Now, if it is a planet, and that's still an if, it's probably going to be more like a bigger, colder Neptune. A giant ball of ice and gas. Not exactly the kind of place for a civilization to hang out, let alone, build spaceships and mine gold.
So no Anunnaki welcoming committee then. Bummer.
Yeah.
But honestly, thinking about it, from those ancient Sumerian tablets to this whole search for Planet 9, it's amazing how one story can just keep evolving. It takes on these new meanings, captures people's imaginations for like centuries.
Absolutely. It says a lot about us as humans,
Yeah.
We love a good story, and we're like hardwired to try and make sense of the unknown. Even if the evidence isn't really there, like with the Anunnaki, those stories, they make us ask questions, explore.
That's what I love about these deep dives. It's like we're traveling through history, archaeology, astronomy, even a little bit of psychology in there too. And in the end, even if we don't have all the answers, which, let's face it, we usually don't, we've got even more questions.
And that's the best part. Those unanswered questions, they keep us curious, keep us exploring. Who knows what incredible things we'll discover out there, right?
Exactly. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder the mysteries of the universe. Until next time.